Concussion roster from your host city, Emerald City, Eugene, Oregon. Lane County Concussion 010 Dragon Balls 1-2 Multi-Class 1998 Inspector Spaceman. Number 29 X 42 Grime and Punishment. Number 45 Clint Beastwood. 47 Tank Swagga. Number 50 Hot Fuzz. Number 55 James Brains. Number 6 Catman's Butt. Number 69 Dr. B. Number 70 Murby Dick. 77 YB Normal. Number 81 Guns of Ruxton, coached this evening by Spunky Bruiser and Psych. That's Lane County Concussion.
And all the way from men's roller derby, TC Terrors, that's 00 Derby Monsters. 0405 is Paul of Duty. 2000 David Smashelhoff. 26 Slamaride Jack. 308 Carl Marksman. 31 is Jamit Dim. 404 is Fire Wally. 478 Matterhorn. 540 Merlin. 609 Baron Von Beans. 64 is Smash. 66 Samson. 67 is Smalls. And that's your men's roller derby from Minnesota.
Well, with Minnesota taking lead, Derby Monster is going to call it off. We were announcing during that first jam with 3 points on the board for Lane County Concussion, First Blood.
Going out on the track for Minnesota men's roller derby is 404 Fire Wally.
That's number 69, Dr. B in the Skeletor pants. No movement at the start of the whistle, but now both teams are off. Shuffling back and forth. 404 hits a ball of Ruxton, gets up, tackles YB Normal at the top of turn 1, and he's through your lead jammer for Minnesota.
Dr. B in turn 1, still kind of behind those blue Minnesota Terrors, but he's out for his initial pass.
Fire Wally quickly re-enters the pack, shuffling past and jumping over one of his down skaters, flipping around to call the jam. That skater is going to take a moment, but it seems to be okay. Give it up for Minnesota, ladies and gentlemen, with their first score, 4-3.
All right, up to the line is 540 Merlin for the TC Terrors.
And number 45, Clint Beastwood, taking a beastly jab at that four wall, but getting no love from Minnesota as he gets pushed to the inside. He knows he does not have to re-enter behind the down skater, however, taken to the out by 308. Carl Marksman resetting LCC's jammer to the back of the pack.
And that's Merlin, who's still in a tissy over in turn 1. Both jammers not out for their initial pass. That's some great defense from both teams.
That's right. We have no designated lead jammer, and we are into this first minute, and there we go. No lead, but out first is men's Minnesota Merlin. Minnesota's jammer going to go out for a cut track, giving LCC the opportunity to get out there, and that is number 45 once again, Clint Beastwood.
With Merlin in the box and both individuals not being lead jammer, we're going to do the full 2 minutes on this jam.
Clint Beastwood is still struggling at the top of the pack with a 4-on-4, and the jammer from Minnesota standing less than 10 seconds. Cut track being issued to Clint Beastwood. This is an opportunity for the Terrors to get on get some points on the board.
And that's Inspector, Spaceman, and Multi-Class giving it to Merlin, but he got through and going for his scoring pass.
He puts the helmet cover back on, meets up with a wall of 3, making it through for 5 points, Minnesota. Well, I know those Minnesota fans earlier for the ladies' games were pretty stylish with their no shirts. Maybe that was all these skaters from the men's team. However, do we have any Minnesota fans out there? Well, we appreciate you coming all this way to support your Men's Roller Derby Association sanctioned bout this evening. And 478, Matterhorn takes a fall up the inside. He has been designated lead, but he has to come back in behind Hot Fuzz.
And Clint Beastwood out of the penalty box up against the Twin City Terror blockers just as Matterhorn gets 5 in the sky.
Looks like a Hot Fuzz is going to spend a few seconds in the penalty box for that matchup with the Matterhorn. He dives Minnesota's Jammer to the top, but he is passed by 45, Clint Beastwood. Now it's a race between the Jammers as Matterhorn makes contact, gets in front of Beastwood and calls the jam.
After that jam, we're at 24-23 left in the half. Lane County Concussion is 7, Twin City Terrors at 18.
Number 00, Derby Monster. Up against Lane County Concussion, 42, Grime and Punishment. A big shout out to Grime. He's been our techie #1 local guru of all the computer things this weekend. So a lot of the things about the scoreboard you're seeing, that's Grime. He's gonna spend 30 seconds to think about some things. And Derby Monster with a chance to get out from his initial pass. And he is designated lead jammer as LCC gave up that opportunity.
We have a couple blockers in the box sitting with Grimes from Lane County. That means there's only 2 green blockers trying to hold back Derby Monster.
And he's coming back into a wall of Hot Fuzz and Tank. That's Tank. Swaggins up there with Hot Fuzz. And number 308 getting a goat for his jammer. And it works as Hot Fuzz taken down with a huge hit by Derby Monster. Unfortunately, LCC's jammer is going to spend 30 seconds for a cut track.
All the Lane County Concussion blockers are back on the track, but the Twin City Terrors are giving just as much guff to them as they are to the blockers and the other jammers. Derby Monster being recycled back into turn 4.
And number 42 back in the action. That's Grime and Punishment. He goes to the inside, gets caught up with 308 as he's being knocked out of the pack, and Grime is finally through. It did take some punishment to get out of that pack.
All right, that jam comes to an end after those full 2 minutes. Derby Monster putting up 20 points for the Twin City Terrors.
I want to remind you, if you haven't got your Big O t-shirt, they are now marked down to $15. Get your Big O merch while it's still hot. Lots of our vendors are marking down their merchandise for this last day of the 3-day tournament here in Eugene. On the track, Dr. B up against number 404, Fire Wally. Dr. B lead for Lane County.
Fire Wally out of the pack, not lead, but making an effort. Dr. B coming up onto the pack, calls it off.
Fantastic timing by Dr. B and a spin shot to whip around, getting 3 points for the team in green. We would like to remind you there's still time to get in on the raffle. Prizes from Dollhouse, Fast Girl Skates, Flat Track Revolution, and Notorious RED await you. The drawing will be held later on this evening. Need not be present to win, just gotta have someone be able to get your stuff.
All right, that's Clint Beastwood and 478. Matterhorn for the Twin City Terrors.
And Matterhorn taking a shoulder hit by Hot Fuzz. Maybe a little payback from earlier. Matterhorn has to re-enter behind 3-wall of LCC, followed up by number 12, Multiclass. He gets through. He is not your lead. Oh, he is your lead. That's right. Just now heard it. With a 2-wall of LCC at turn 3, Multiclass one last time, but Twin City Terrors taking 5 points on that last pass. LCC is going to have to stop the bleeding. Important for them. They have capitalized on this power jam, which is now coming to an end as LCC's jammer fielded back on the track. And number 45 is through for the Concussions. Clint Beastwood stashing the star and now replacing that helmet cover.
Both jammers out of the track, and Matterhorn calls it off.
0 points for either team. Sometimes that's the best you can hope for.
Total score right now is Lane County Concussion 10, Twin City Terrors at 53. That's 18:47 left in the half. Twin City Terrors calls upon Derby Monster, while 42 Grime and Punishment back under the star for Lane County.
Both jammers still at the back of the pack as Twin Cities jammer forms with his blockers to make a defensive wall, but it's not enough to stop Grime and Punishment. Lead jammer. Let's hear it, LCC fans. Let's make some work out of this jam. The Terrors blockers try to rush at the last second. Grimes takes one hop over his own teammates to the inside line, putting 4 points on the board for green.
Back up to the line, we have 69 Dr. B in green, 404 Fire Wally in teal.
Taking the track this afternoon is Dragon Balls, one of LCC's blockers. He played a tough game earlier in this weekend. I'm happy to see him back out on the track. Most of the teams are now showing signs of a 3-game weekend in the sense that endurance and fatigue, injuries, all of the above starting to become a factor in today's games.
Fire Wally gets out, gets lead jammer status.
Fire Wally has an open lane on the outside, stopped by X, but trifled by his own blocker to get him through. Fire Wally for 5.
Dr. B in the box. So right now, Fire Wally, the only star on the track with only 2 blockers as Guns of Ruxton comes on into the track to help out his green brothers.
Number 12, Multiclass, taking Fire Wally back as Ruxton joins his 3-wall with Dragon Balls. They are stopped by 609, Baron Von Beans. And keeping the jammer held, stringing back 69. Dr. B re-enters. He's led in by Tank Swaggins, who pushes his way through. Not enough. Getting in the way of the jammer as Dr. B is trying up the inside, spinning Here comes Wally once again. And seemingly effortless Wally sneaking through. 4 points for the team in blue. Number 308 down. We're going to just spend a moment here, make sure everything's okay.
All right, the crowd is clapping and he is rolling off by himself. He will be assessed further because we take safety very seriously. A big thank you to the EMTs and other staff to help keep us safe and assess us for these instances.
And that's Carl Marksman for Blues, going to be assessed by the EMTs. We appreciate your patience. During that time, we're going to get back to the action at hand. The whistle has blown. Clint Beastwood, number 45. Oh, excuse me, the whistle has not blown. Thought nobody was moving. Of course not. Here we go. Clint Beastwood, number 45, in the green against 478 Matterhorn. And LCC's jammer going off the track for a penalty. This is a power jam opportunity for the men in blue, and Minnesota's jammer coming up with a little help by his offense. 64 smash. 5 points for Matterhorn.
LCC blockers down to 3, and the big hit to Matterhorn though on the inside of the track. He recycles between turn 2 and 3.
And that hit coming from X. Now it's a wall between X and James Brains to try to stop Matterhorn. Hot Fuzz given a shoulder. Matterhorn through for 5 points.
LCC was able to slow him down just enough that only 1 lap was accomplished. By the time LCC jammer is back onto the track, Matterhorn hit out and calls it off.
And a penalty being issued by the referees at the end of that whistle. It looks like one of LCC's blockers, X, is going to spend the start of this next jam in the penalty box. This is jam 10 in the first period. 14 minutes left to go. Plenty of time for Lane County to catch up to the Twin City Terrors.
All right, some whistles blown. The officials talking amongst themselves. They like to have their secrets. I'm sure we'll have some insight here shortly.
With lots of games going on this weekend, we would love to have you fans share your experience here at the Big O. Take a picture in front of our Big O photo backdrop. Tag hashtag Big O 2016 or hashtag Best of Big O 2016 if you think your photo is fantastic. We would love to share with social media to all the fans that are out watching and listening on the internet and the live stream. Let's give it up for our tech crews getting those live streams out to the world. Once again, part of the tech crew on the track is Grimes. I just have this special announcement. Sassy, you want to let us know what is up?
Yes, the MVP skaters from the teams you are watching right now of Lane County, Grime and Punishment, and Derby Monster.
Oh my God, the two jammers on the track right now don't even know, but they've been officially voted to be the MVP representatives for the entire world later. Oh, no pressure, guys. And taking the track, our MVPs for the game and the weekend, Grime, and let's see if Monster is gonna live up to his name. Other MVPs playing, representing Lane County will be Hot Fuzz, and from Minnesota, Samson. Good timing. Epic. We'll tell them that.
All right, that's Grimes and Punishment going to the box for the cutting of the track.
Leaving Monster the opportunity. We can't get past the Tank wagons. Tank to the outside, but Monster squeaks by with the width of one wheel. Oh, that's all he needs is one little spot, and he jumps through that four wall. 5 points for Minnesota. Oh, and a huge hit to the inside by Dragon Balls. 0-0 is going to have to reset as the jammer's still in an opportunity to score as Grimes taken to the inside. He knows the skater that hit him out went down. Grime and Punishment back in the game. I see him pulling a Jammer Star helmet cover out of his pocket, so that's one spot to stash it. Sassy the score. We're almost to the century mark for Twin City Terrors of Minnesota, 98 to Lane County's 14. We know these skaters have been playing hard all weekend. Did you get to catch any of the other games?
What's ironic is 14 is actually what Minnesota Men's Roller Derby is currently ranked with MRDA, and Lane County's at 41.
Excuse me, 31.
31, excuse me. Yes, we had to update our stuff.
Got to make sure we get it right. But those rankings after this weekend, they're going to change. That's Dr. B, number 69. He's out. He is representing Lane County as the jammer, scoring points. Number 31 knocks him to the inside. Huge hit by Jam It Dim. And boy, he really dimmed the light on Dr. B. He's gonna have to reset, regroup, looking to Murby Dick to open up some lines for him. And Ruxton coming in. Looks like Dr. B's gonna play some defense. Brains knocking number 66. Samson to the outside. And once again, Brains holding back Samson. He's not the lead. He's going to have to come in and take his punishment. LCC doing a good job of getting some points on the board and stopping Minnesota's jammer for just a wee bit.
Both jammers are out and chasing each other around the turns. neither which are leads, so they're just going to keep powering through best they can. Dr. B hit to the inside, recycled between turn 4 and 1.
And Dr. B still pushing a huge 3-wall as one of Minnesota's blockers leads up to string. Brains going to the box, just 3 LCC skaters stopping him. And although Dr. B disagrees, he's gonna go spend 30 seconds in the box. When I skated, I always disagreed as a matter of principles. All right, 10, the Twin Cities comes to a jam end naturally, 1:12:21. Don't forget tonight's Big O after party. This is going to be amazeballs. There's no getting shut down early this year, and they do know that we will need to see international passports. That's going to be at the Wayward Lamb at 150 West Broadway starting at 9 o'clock. If you are a junior under the age of 21, your official after party will be at Sizzle Pie, both venues being within a few blocks of one another. Breen sneaking out of the box, and Dr. B right behind him. He is missed by most of the Minnesota blockers and gets caught up with 67 for a quick hit.
But it's Fire Wally who's lead and calls it off.
Breen's doing a fantastic job at the back of the pack, forcing the call off.
On the line, we have Matterhorn and Grimes and Punishment. Looks like the penalty box is empty, so we're going to go a full 4-on-4 with the Jammers.
Oh, that's nice. Grime and Punishment makes it through that 4-wall of blue. Meanwhile, 478 Matterhorn still struggling against Inspector Spaceman, who takes a tumble on the inside but gets right back to the action. Oh, Grimes has to go up against Smalls. He's through and calls the jam for 5, getting the Grand Slam point. Once again, Grime and Punishment, your Big O MVP. And as well out there, Hot Fuzz from LCC, the Big O MVP blocker. Taking the track, Brains.
And a Derby Monster.
Derby Monster getting mixed in with Dragon Balls, held together by Murby Dick, giving Brains the opportunity to be your lead jammer. Still stuck before turn 1, hasn't even gone past turn 1. This could be LCC's chance if it wasn't for 404 Fire Wally, a jammer himself right now, taking back Brains.
And Brains calls it off before Derby Monster can hit the pack. That's 3 more points for LCC.
Taking the jammer helmet cover for the first time this afternoon, number 26, Slammer Ride Jack. Oh, well, we will have a timeout from Minnesota. We'll get back to y'all. I try to do a good Minnesota accent, but I don't think I have the sota. No. My NSO looks over and she says, no.
Just a reminder to all the MVPs out there, including the 4 that are here this bout, that there will be a meeting at 6:30 in the lobby for the MVP team.
All right, Dr. B, 69 in the green in just a moment, going up against Slamurai Jack. We have 6 minutes, 43 seconds to go in this first period. And we'll be back to the action on the track.
The 5-second call precedes the whistle, and there it is.
Slamurai takes the lead as Tent City Terrors defends against Dr. B. Oh, a sliding entrance, and that's going to be a penalty issued to Slamurai Jack. That may have just been a slip up on the track, but regardless, the responsible party will spend 30 seconds as Dr. B having a fantastic opportunity to put points on. He's not the lead, so he's gonna have to hustle it up.
And it looks like multi-class is out there trying to mix up the terrors for Dr. B, but unfortunately he is recycled and is up against
That's Carl Marksman. Doing some damage to Dr. B out there, being a real menace. Dr. B, he gets by, but he takes a fall. He's still in, no pass, no penalty. He's all right, 4 points. And Slamurai Jack back in the pack when we didn't even see him come out of the box. Oh, a fantastic jog by Ruxton, mixing up, stringing out. And they did a good job stopping Marksman, Slamurai Jack, excuse me. Dr. B gets a cut track on that last pass. He's going to spend 30 seconds in the penalty box, giving Minnesota a chance for 26 Slamurai Jack to score.
An unfortunate end for Lane County as they will start with their jammer in the box. Reminder to hit up our raffle prizes. You do not have to be present to win. Just make sure that we can get a hold of you. Grand prize being 2 RollerCon MVP passes. Maybe you've heard of RollerCon. It's kind of a big deal. There's also Big O, Bruise Skate News packages, as well as a Bont Quad Star skate package, also one of the highlighted prizes. It just takes a little money and a chance to win big dreams and big memories.
Well, I will tell you a special story from the Big O 2015. Me and my 3 fellow Derby wives who had committed tickets to RollerCon, we all put in money towards the tickets for our 4th Derby wife, who won the pass, and it was the most wonderful thing. So you could win a pass to RollerCon. There are 2 separate MVP passes, and there's still time to buy your tickets over between track 2 and 3. I think Minnesota calls for a train choo-choo, which means the jammer's gonna get through for 5 points. That's number 78.
That's Matterhorn, 478 for Twin City Terrors.
Thank you. It looks like we've had a star pass from the Lane County Concussion. Grimes sneaking up the outside. He gets 1 point, 2 points. That's right. The referee and Grimes giving a, yeah, that's right.
It's always nice when that works out. We like when the skaters and the referees agree.
We want to remind you guys that there's quite a difference in the rankings between these teams. LCC at the highlight of their international rankings right now, number 31 in the world, but Minnesota's Twin City Terrors, who you are watching dominate right now, they're at 14, and I think that is a huge step up for LCC today, so they are to be commended for this game. And Brains looking to put some points on number 55 in the green. And both jammers still stuck in the pack at turn 3, but at the top of the pack, 4:04. Fire Wally, your lead for Minnesota. A little bit of a mix-up at the penalty box between an entering and an exiting skater. Safety can be an issue in those penalty box, and you can't get a penalty for not entering safe.
Very true. All right, we've got a few more points for the LCC. That was Brains getting 3 on the board, and I believe that was Fire Wally getting 4.
Official review being called by the Twin City Terrors as their captain, 308, Carl Marksman, goes to meet with the referees, have a little discussion. Hope you guys are sticking around for the Big O MVP games. Please visit Left Turn Clothing booth if you are an MVP to get your jersey made. Coaches and captains, please check your email for additional MVP information. There will be a meeting 6:30 in the lobby for these amazing skaters, 2 of which are taking the Jammer Star in the next jam of this game.
The other 2 on that you will be seeing is Hot Fuzz and Samson. So make sure you come and cheer on the respective MVP skaters who have been so awesome in earning those votes.
It really is a special thing when you are voted by a team that possibly has never played you before, and it comes right down to the moment. The votes come in, we create a team, jerseys get printed on the fly. It's quite the collaboration. And then they gotta play Team USA, the best of the United States talent. So it's quite a game. I do know that Dr. B went and tried out for Team USA this year. So we commend you, Dr. B, for putting yourself out there. Takes a lot to even step up to that tryout.
All right, it looks like Twin City Terrors have met with the officials to lodge their complaint, if you will, or concern, and the officials are talking it over.
We are in an official timeout review. We're going to get you some information once the referees have consorted and decided all their things.
Don't forget that if you're taking some fabulous photos, either of your fans, your team, your peers, or even the food, hashtag it at Big O 2016. And if you think your photo or your purchase is the best of the tournament, hashtag Best of Big O 2016.
Well, I have to admit, I've been hashtagging all weekend, but I don't think it's working, so we'll have to figure out some of that Instagram and all that stuff. But I know our social mavens and our social media crew has been working 24 hours a day, every day since Thursday morning to bring you the best of this tournament. And if you feel like you want more derby, there is a Victorian Roller Derby League boot camp that is going on this Monday. That's tomorrow here, not in this building, but at Springfield's Willamette Lane Sports Center. You can attend still. Go on to brownpapertickets.com and search Victorian Roller Derby League. It's your opportunity to train with the Aussies.
And if you are at home listening to us, don't forget to tag your pets.
Yes, we want to see hashtag Big O Dogs, hashtag Big O Cats, because we care about our furry fans.
I'm tweeting right now.
Sassy's tweeting right now.
And we appreciate all our fans here at the Twin City, Lane County bout and matchup. We appreciate you choosing track 3 for your entertainment in this 2 o'clock slot. Give a shout out, fans.
All right, we love all the support we get. That's right, that's right. There's so much roller derby action going on at the Big O this weekend. It's like always the heartbreak of, I'm missing this, but this is so good too. And so all day, everyone I've talked to is torn between games. And of course, you fans at home, of course, all you have to do is toggle between screens or windows within the Big O live stream. So I know when I was watching at home for a minute, I kept screening between tracks 1, 2, and 3 based on the score. I know we all do it.
It's so true, so true.
We've had some huge games this weekend for all the participants, and it's not over yet. There's still a lot of derby action to be had. We're still halfway through the day. We're going till 9 o'clock tonight, and it's only 2:45. Well, I'm going to just start giving shout outs to all the people I love, which is going to be Scarletta Vendetta. Let's give a shout out to Scar. If you know her, you know that she has been working for probably 6 months on this event. And she is the marketing, sponsorship, vendor, everything internet. Basically the root of ECRG's tournament, the Big O. So a shout out to my derby wife, Scarletta Vendetta.
It looks like the officials have dispersed and the captains and coaches are being communicated to. So we will find out here shortly the result of that official timeout. And if someone could tell us, that would be greatly appreciated.
Sounds like Minnesota is losing their official review in that one, and they were seeking a cut track call, but no cut track will be issued. Lane County also, during that same official review, requested a penalty to be issued, and it was awarded. So Lane County retains their official review. Minnesota loses, and jumping the track is Grime and Punishment. He catches 4 in the air. He's done.
All right, now that we're back to it on track 3, they're shaking it out. Dr. B and Matterhorn, they're making sure that they're loose and comfortable after that long official timeout.
All right, Dr. B in the green. He's at the back of the pack. Shortly in front of him, not a few steps, is struggling at the outside line. Matterhorn knocked out by Brains and YB Normal. Matterhorn shoving his own blocker forward, but Dr. B was out first. He's your lead. Let's hear it, LCC fans. Dr. B, a favorite, like I said, tried out for Team USA, and that took a lot of courage. He's become a star jammer for the Concussions. Oh, nice, 2 points to 0. Lane County with 30 seconds to go in this first period. Sassy, what do you think about this game so far?
I definitely think it's been a challenging one at that, but it seems like every individual out there skating has stepped up and been willing to put it all out on the track.
I feel like unlike some of the men's games that felt very chaotic, these teams are playing with a lot of teammate teamwork. And I think that's really nice to see. It's refreshing to see the men, and it's working as Grimes is your lead for LCC. And a 2-wall of tanks wagons. Multi-class thrown down by the jammer. He gets through 404. He's not the lead. Grimes gets through for another 4 points. That will be our halftime in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. We need EMT help on the front of the track. We're going to go into our halftime in just a few moments. Please enjoy some beverages in the vendor lobby out front. You can find food and drink as well. Alcoholic beverages are being sold at the Wild Duck, distancing between tracks 1 and 2. Pineapple bottoms up.
A lot of very impressive people in roller derby.
This was definitely a proud moment for me, wearing the black, white, and red.
I care about this thing more than I care about any other article of clothing in my wardrobe.
This represents to me like 7 years of blood, sweat, and tears.
Glitter is fun and hardcore. I've learned that it's hardcore.
My uniform is always in pristine condition.
My truck is purple, my shoes are purple, my underwear are purple.
It takes a lot of drive and a lot of passion to keep going in roller derby.
Sometimes when you play roller derby, you're just kind of like, why am I doing this? This is so weird.
I just can't imagine that I'd get more kicks like playing golf than I do hitting a you know? Feels good.
My name is Rachel Rotten.
My name is Midge Wilhelm.
I'm Fifi Nomenon.
I'm Jackie Daniels.
My name's Steph Maney.
Hi, I'm Scald Eagle,
And S1.
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 and S1 is part of my uniform.
The Arius Platinum is packed with new features. Reinforced toe section. Increased toe stop clamping power. Winged truck with split cushion design for easy assembly and installation. The new Arius Platinum, performance redefined.
Hey, this is Dan from S1 Helmets. We're in the testing lab today testing helmets to see if they pass the multiple impact certification test. We're going to be testing 3 helmets today. There's a soft foam helmet with EVA foam and a terry cloth liner. There's a hockey helmet with triple density EVA foam. The S1 Lifer helmet with EPS fusion foam. All 3 of these helmets are marketed as multiple impact helmets. We're going to test all of them today and see which ones actually pass the test. The multiple impact test is when we drop a helmet to achieve a velocity of 4.57 meters per second. This simulates a 10-mile-an-hour impact or a 4-foot drop. The same helmet is tested 3 times in the same location. The helmet must reduce the energy pulse to under 300 Gs each time. Anything over 300 Gs can result in a traumatic brain injury or a severe concussion. In summary, the soft foam helmet with EVA foam and the hockey helmet with triple density foam did not pass the multiple impact test. The S1 Lifer helmet with EPS fusion foam did pass the multiple impact test.
At Roller Derby Athletics, we take the guesswork out of off-skate training so you can focus on being fierce. We help you transform your game without a lot of time or equipment. With 5 training programs plus all-star memberships, there's an option to suit every athlete. And we train skaters worldwide with high-quality video instruction and online support. At Roller Derby Athletics, we empower you to be safe, strong, and unstoppable. Want to see for yourself? Sign up today for our free Basics Builder program.
Hi, Ivana Spankin and Trish the Dish here to tell you about Sin City Skates. Sin City Skates began in our living room in 2005 and has since grown into this 2,000 square foot warehouse and showroom where we stock everything for Derby. If it's Derby related, we probably have it. Need help? With a combined on-track Derby experience of over 24 years and still playing, we test everything we sell and we know the difference between facts and our opinions. We're always happy to share both with you to help you make the right decisions. So call us, sincityskates.com.
I love teamwork when it comes naturally, and it's almost like your teammate is an extension of your own body. That anticipation, where you've worked cerebrally through strategy and skills, and suddenly you're out there in a game and it all comes naturally because you know each other. I love that.
So when I first went into Fast Girl Skates, it was like being a kid in a candy
I skate
shop.
on the Antec AR1 boot with Crazy Venus plates and add-on V-Rod wheels.
As I've grown as a skater, Fast Girl has also helped my skates to grow with me.
What's your favorite thing that you got at the store?
Probably my gear. I'm Double Megs and I'm a Fast Girl.
I'm Vex Factor and I'm a Fast Girl.
I'm a Salted Peanut and I'm a Fast Girl.
And I'm from Jamar and I'm a Fast Girl.
You can be a Fast Girl too.
Skaters, lost your mouth guard? Hit this. Time for an upgrade? Hit this. New to Derby and not sure where to start? Hit this. We are Derby owned and operated with 6 years of experience. Hit This Derby Gear can hook you up with skates, gear, and honest advice based on your skating style and individual needs. Visit us at our store in Salem, Oregon, or online at www.hitthisderbygear.com. Whether you are a new or veteran skater, before you hit the track, hit this.
Hi, I'm Trish the Dish, and this is Ivana Spankin, and we're here to tell you about Sin City Skates. Sin City Skates began in our Las Vegas living room in 2005, the first shop ever dedicated to roller derby, and has since grown into this 2,000 square foot mecca in San Diego, where we stock everything for our sport. Need help? With a combined on-track experience of over 24 years and still playing, we test everything we sell, and we're happy to share that experience and knowledge with you. So contact us, sincityskates.com.
Hi folks, Scald Eagle here. Have you had a chance to take a look at the new Bonk Quadstar skate? The boots are ultra lightweight with no break-in period and are great for skaters with skinnier ankles. They also have a 100% Australian full-grain leather outer and a completely heat-moldable hand-laid fiberglass base. Get that premium performance without the premium price tag. Boom. Come over to the Bonk booth right now and check out this rad new skate.
into the second half of the Lane County Concussion and Minnesota's Twin City Terrors matchup. We are at Lane County Concussion 48, Twin City Terrors at 139.
I'm up and bottoms up, joined by my co-host,
Sassy McFly.
She is so McFly. All right, that's number 00, Derby Monster, taking the track against Grimes, who is in the green. Quite the lineup from both teams. I do believe in this second half, as in many games, penalties will begin to be an issue for all teams involved. Second half, that seems to dictate the lineups more than anything else sometimes.
All right, the penalty box is empty, it looks like, so they are on their way. Both Grimes and Derby Monster are pushing in the pack.
Luckily for
Brains.
LCC, Derby Monster got to knock to the outside because Grimes fell in with 3 of his blockers. Not enough, though. Derby Monster lead for Minnesota.
Ooh, and it's Grimes who is going to the box for a cutting of the track.
That-
He is also met with Guns of Rexton, so the Lane County Concussion has 1.5 blockers, as another will join and will be put back in the queue.
It's going to be an easy pass with 1 Tank Swaggins to get by. It's really hard to defend when you're just 1 player. Derby Monster on his next lap, already at the top of the pack, and with that, Tank Swaggins gets away from the pack. Not enough to stop. He is joined now by Brains. Let's see if a twofer is enough to stop this Derby Monster. At the top of turn 3, Derby Monster taken out by Brains, number 55. And that gives Grime and Punishment the opportunity to get back in for his second and now his scoring pass.
As he's calling it off, those last few points are given to Derby Monster in that jam. He got 20 points for Twin City Concussion.
Twin City, that's right. It's, I believe, Twin City, Minnesota. I'm not sure what the other city is. All right, whatever they said. St. Paul, Minnesota. All right, these cities are twins. These Derby players are kicking butt. They'll be happy to go back to Minnesota and tell everyone about the fantastic time they had at the Big O. Yeah, that's right. Number 404, Fire Wally, gonna go try to stop Dr. B. Fire Wally fires up the inside. He's your lead jammer in blue. Shortly out of the pack behind him is Dr. B, but he's lapped by an entire track length, and Fire Wally gets through and calls the jam. 4 points.
All right, coming up to the line, first time for this half is 45 Clint Beastwood, and he is going up against Matterhorn.
I do like that name, Matterhorn. It reminds me of a roller coaster that I took once when I was just a child. I believe it's like the last wooden roller coaster that you can't die on, but they still let you ride on. That's Matterhorn. If he's anything like the roller coaster, he's squeaky, scary, and through as lead.
Not far behind is Clint Beastwood, but Matterhorn sees the track and sees Brains as he gets hit to the inside.
And he's up against Inspector Spaceman, and another hit by Brains, but Matterhorn ricochets, and he's out for 4. And both jammers now at turn 4. It's out Matterhorn and a huge hit to our LCC jammer, Clint Beastwood, to the outside by 66, Samson. That is the blocker for the MVP game, so no wonder he's taking our jammer back. But right now, that was a little jammer on jammer action.
And out of the pack for 5 more points is Matterhorn, as Clint Beastwood is recycled between turn 1 and 2. He is fighting against those Twin City Terrors. But Matterhorn gets a back block and he goes to the box.
Let's hear it, LCC fans. This is an opportunity for your team. Give it up to Clint Beastwood. He's in a power jam situation. He gets caught up with one of the referees as he's being recycled. Murby Dick spending 30 seconds in the penalty box, joined by Ruxton. And Clint Beastwood with 1 to go. He does it for 5 points, LCC.
The lone jammer starting this jam will be Grimes in punishment for Lane County Concussion, as Matterhorn starts in the penalty box.
I believe this may be one of the first and only power jams LCC has started in this second half. This is an opportunity for Grimes to get lead, and he is at the top of turn 1, but still has yet to be designated, and Matterhorn is back from the penalty box. He is lead, Grime, and punishment. And tumbling into 67 Smalls, Grime decided to call that jam. 4 points for the Concussions.
All right, both jammers now out of the box. We're gonna have 69 Dr. B and 00 Derby Monster. They're starting out this jam as a whistle blows.
No one will be starting any jam for just a few moments. That gives us a chance to make sure that you are aware of the after party location this evening, the Wayward Lamb, downtown off of Broadway, and just a few blocks up, the juniors, all ages party will be at Sizzle Pie, which does also serve alcohol, but they do allow patrons under the age of 21 till late. So if you are 21 and older, the Wayward Lamb tonight.
And it's Dr. B getting on the inside to get lead jammer. And a wall of green meets Derby Monster, trying to hold him back.
Derby Monster doing a great job of pushing through, and Dr. B as well on the inside line. He gets 4 points and calls the jam. What? No, excuse me. He does call the jam. It was that hesitation where the hip is like halfway touching, looking at the coach.
There's a lot of communicating with all different body parts in roller derby.
And over the years, you've seen plenty of signals, from the handkerchief of different colors to the dancing co-coach on the side of turn 4. All the strategies of trying to communicate in a very confusing, busy game. Confusing only when you're on the track and it's happening. Watching, it's pretty darn clear. Minnesota lead jammer. That's Wally.
Grimes also out of the pack, but Fire Wally meeting the pack and just being able to sneak on by. He calls it just short of the 4. He gets 3 on the board.
LCC's coach, Syke, coming out just for a little clarification with our referee crew. with enough time between jams, as long as it doesn't go over a certain amount of time, you can get clarification. But once that 5 seconds goes, getting off the track.
And it's Dr. B and Matterhorn once again. A lot of hitting and holding back.
Matterhorn, your lead in blue.
The box is empty, and the teal blockers holding Dr. B back in between turns 1 and 2, with Matterhorn just trying to get some points on the board.
And Dr. B is out ahead of Matterhorn, forcing the call off. But 5 points awarded to Matterhorn on that last pass. That means he got the jammer point as well. I'm gonna have to tattle that I'm starting to smell and see lots of great food out there, and if you're getting hungry like I am, you can get a snack out in the front lobby. They're gonna be serving food till about 9 o'clock, and from what I've seen and smell, everything looks great.
And that's Derby Monster, who is lead jammer, followed by Clint Beastwood.
Beastwood, a new member to LCC from this last year. He's been a fantastic addition, has grown incredibly as a skater and an athlete. And we all know anybody that puts on the jammer helmet we like.
We do like that, but what I loved in this last jam is it got plenty breezy as the pack decided to speed up faster than I think we've seen this whole matchup.
I think that is the one thing the poor fans are missing at home is the swish and breeze and the slight aroma of men's roller derby. Something special. The EMTs are looking at me going, yeah, special. We love our derby stink. And speaking of which, you should check out some of the notorious RED if you have any opportunity to get some. It'll cut that right out. All right, your lead in the blue, that's Wally.
Green X goes to the box as YB Normal is released. Grimes is not the lead, Free Wally is, and he calls it off.
Well, I'm really impressed and thankful to see some amazing attitudes out here on the track. Just as I say that, I see our jammers giving each other a high five. This is probably one of the most calm and well-played men's games I've seen this weekend. The EMTs haven't had to work too hard, but I think all the skaters are keeping their heads cool, and they're doing a great job.
And that is 478 Matterhorn and 55 James Brain for LCC.
Good job. It's tradition to yell brains. And of course, that is because Brains is the other half of the Bullet Brains, James Brains duo. So, you know.
I actually remember them getting engaged at an ECRG halftime.
That's right. All the derby love. Brains catching up to Matterhorn. Huge hit to the outside by Multiclass, and Dragon Balls getting caught up in the mix. That was a fantastic hit, forcing Minnesota's jammer to the outside.
All right, 18 minutes left in the second half. It looks like, once again, we've got some great camaraderie going on the track as Dr. B and Derby Monster get up to the jammer line, and we see the blockers using that old school pivot line to start off the jam.
Well, if you give Dr. B an inch and a little speed, he's gonna get lead. There he goes in green.
All right, with that lead jammer, he's now to the first of the scoring passes that he hopes to have. He gets recycled though back behind as Derby Monster is done with his initial pass.
Oh, a tough hit by 308. Do not get mixed up with Carl Marksman. It never works out. And we are going old school with the pivot line starts in the last couple jams. Minnesota preferring to give a little distance to those jammers. Always question of what the strategy is, but I like it. I like it.
And that's 42 Grimes, 404 Fire Wally.
Oh, don't free Wally yet. He's still in the pack as Grimes is your lead and Wally goes off to the penalty box. Let's hear it, LCC fans. Power jam. Grimes just pushing his way through with arms and grit. And he's through past the spinning 67 Smalls. He gets 5 points, LCC.
Grimes' feet are not stopping as the LCC Concussion try to hold back the other blockers, trying to maintain the pack definition.
Well, Grimes gearing up for a big apex jump. He gets 4 points. Meanwhile, a track cut being issued to one of Minnesota's blockers. He's going to spend a few seconds in the box. And we have Wally stashing the helmet cover, returning the jammer status, but not before Grimes put another 4. A huge jam for Grimes in punishment. 18 points scored in that last jam for LCC. 15 minutes to go. There's plenty of time in this game. We all know how Derby can switch quite a bit. We want to give a quick shout out to Harmony Event Medical Staffing for providing our EMT services this weekend. Let's give a few rounds of applause for our EMTs. That is a team timeout for Minnesota. We're going to go ahead and thank some of our sponsors and vendors out there participating in Vendor Village. If you haven't gotten a chance to check out Left Turn Clothing from our sister city, Portland, the Rose City Roller Girls, some of their skaters are creating some of the best athletic apparel and some fantastic cat pants. I believe cats, tacos, puppies, rainbows, unicorns. Lots of things you can put on your pants. Left Turn Clothing in the Vendor Village.
And Hit This Derby Gear is also a local vendor. Before you hit the track, hit them up because they will get you all suited up with the right gear and the problems that you have when they fall off during the track.
I'm telling you, Elixir knows her stuff. She has been an amazing resource as our local skate shop shut down last year. And she opens up clinics, comes to our practices. That's Elixir at Hit This Derby Gear. Meanwhile, on the track, 478 Matterhorn at the top of turn 3. He's going to get a penalty cut track. LCC Power Jam, Clint Beastwood. Taken out by Jamit Dim, but Jamit's gonna go spend a damn minute in the box. 30 seconds, excuse me. That's 5 points for LCC. Can he do it again? Clint Beastwood giving a little look to Guns of Ruxton. Clear the way with Catman's butt. Give it a chance for that jammer to get through. And he does. 5 points to the men in green. I'll tell you, every time I say his name, it makes me laugh. And Matterhorn goes up against some of his own blockers, pushing down Guns of Ruxton, but looks like they're back in the mix with the LCC Jammers still struggling at the top of the pack.
With one LCC blocker in the box, Matterhorn gets out and gets 4 points. Clint Beastwood trying to get some help from his teammates.
Clint's been putting up a huge fight. You can tell it's trying to get through and struggling as tire endurance and all of the energy required to be a jammer starts to come into play. Matterhorn is back into the track. At least one of Minnesota's blockers getting taken to the penalty box to give our LCC jammer a break for 4 more points, matched, unfortunately, by 5 points, Minnesota. And LCC has broke the 100 mark.
I can tell on the bench that they're excited about that fact. As they go into the next jam, they see Derby Monster from Twin City Terrors on the track, and that is up against
Dr. B, number 69, as we whistle that we are going to get back to gameplay in a few seconds here. Maybe like 5.
a little tussle around to the inside. Dr. B is further ahead, trying to break through those last few teal blockers, and he does. He is lead as Derby Monster finally breaks through from getting hit out.
And Dr. B has just 2 of the Twin Cities blockers to get through, and he circles around Smalls, gets his point for 4, and calls the jam. You know, I know it seems like a big difference between, but with 11 minutes to go, I've seen it happen before. 104 to 222. Smalls coming up. Excuse me. That is actually Fire Wally going against Grime and Punishment 42.
Sampson waiting to be released from the box for Twin City, and the whistle's blown, and Fire Wally getting a little bit of resistance from Lane County, and Grimes and Punishment gets a cutting of the track, going to the box for 30 seconds.
That is unfortunate for LCC, but Wally says, hey man, I'm happy about it, as he circles back through. Wally coming in, takes a hit from Murby Dick, one of our fantastic LCC skaters, long-term skater in our community.
One of those mysterious signs pulling the choo-choo train horn from Fire Wally.
Multiclass taking a tough hit and falls, gets right back up as joined the re-wall up with Hot Fuzz. It's a Hot Fuzz multi-class 2-wall at the top, but not enough to stop Wally. 4 points, excuse me, 5 points. He got that jammer point as well. And number 64, Smash, going out on a forearm penalty. And with that, Murby Dick coming back in for LCC. Both teams missing 1 blocker. Grimes disagreeing with the call as he's going to spend 30 seconds as the jammer in the penalty box.
Based on our jam clock, he will not likely see the end of this jam from the inside of the track. We have 3 LCC blockers, and Fire Wally not trying to stop at all.
I think Minnesota is going to call it to start this next jam in a power jam status. Well, just to talk a little bit about our Derby community, the Lane County Concussion is technically a part of the Big O as a host league as well. These are the brother league to the Emerald City. We couldn't do this without Lane County Concussion's efforts, months of work, technical skills, manpower, intelligence, and their participation as an MRDA sanctioned team in this bout. Tank Swaggins takes a hit, but illegally he's gonna have to take 30 seconds in the box. Grimes, a huge jump, it's clear. Sassy's over here laughing because Grimes almost jumped over someone's head. So that's how big that apex jump was from our perspective. And he's still at turn 3, pushing through and decides, you know, I'm over it. 4 points, and I'm gonna stop the Matterhorn from getting anything.
If you didn't hear from track 2, reminder that the Big O t-shirts are marked down to only $15. That's less than admission. You can buy one.
That means you can afford to get your name printed on it. 69, Dr. B, and 00, Derby Monster. Derby Monster with a football spin off, and he cuts the track with one wheel out on that, giving Dr. B an opportunity for a lead, but he's gonna have to work for it. He does, LCC.
And we've got Tank Swaggin going to the box as well. So only 3 green blockers on the track. Dr. B approaches the pack and makes good use of his footwork.
And Dr. B, 1 foot to the inside, decides he's going to play it safe, circling back to be recycled by 2000, David Schmashelhoff. Schmashelhoff back in with number 31, Jam It Dim. Just the 2 while stopping Dr. B.
And Dr. B used great use of his toe stops in that one, but Derby Monster back on the track, given a hit to multi-class as he dons his star, but the jam comes to an end.
Does seem like with 6 minutes to go, these hits are starting to get a little personal out there. There's still time if you'd like to join the Victorian Roller Derby League Boot Camp. Don't be intimidated by the fact that they're one of the top 4 teams in the world. Just take from them their derby wisdom. These skaters travel all the way from Australia, and they like to make their journey worth it. They'd love to pass on some of their top 4 in the world wisdom, if you would. It's just located about 10 minutes away from this venue at the Willamette Lane Sports Center. That's tomorrow, and you can still get tickets tonight at Brown Paper Tickets.
And when you're finished with this bout and you want to watch the 4 o'clock on this track, it will be Santa Cruz and Aldriki. So make sure you get in and get comfortable. We love the action on track 3.
And it looks like the referees are going to be spending just a few moments discussing a possible expulsion of a LCC skater. It looks like Tank Swaggins is out of the game for the remainder of this period. We thank you for your participation. I don't know if you've ever shook your groove thing to DJ Meow, but he certainly knows how to break it down. And DJ Meow from Portland will be the host DJ at tonight's after party. The Wayward Lamb serving up fantastic drinks located in downtown Eugene off of West Broadway. 2 blocks up is Sizzle Pie, the host and sponsor of the Juniors All Ages After Party.
And DJ Malbean from Rose City is likely to be the DJ at the November Championships as hosted by Rose City Rollers. That is a WFTDA International Championship Tournament. You should get your tickets. I know I will.
That's right. Now that you're familiar with the area, whether you're flying into Eugene or Portland, it's just a couple hours north. And a wonderful sister league. We finally started working with Portland's trainers. It's been 9-10 years of Derby in Eugene. They're kind of up there, so we decided maybe if we can't beat them, we should join them. And so we've had lots of training. We have many of our fellow Emerald City skaters skating for Portland, Copernicus, Griffin, a ton of talent. They'd eventually trickle up to Portland. On the track for our men, in green is Grimes, and in blue is Fire Wally. Grimes, your lead, but he has to recycle back to be safe. He is lead, but he is not out in front. He's gonna have to make that decision to call it or keep going. He says it's gotta be called.
Smart call, Grimes.
Very few jams have gone the full 2 minutes this evening, huh, Sassy?
Indeed. It's like they are using the call off for strategy or something.
Something. Well, I gotta say, I did just get a great picture of my puppy watching me announce this game, and I did hashtag Big O Dogs 2016. We'll see if it shows up on the social media. On the track, Dr. B, the go-to jammer for Lane County, and gets lead. That's why he has that job.
The LCC blockers holding back that teal blocker themselves, Mr. Derby Monster.
Jam it, Dan it on a huge hit on Dr. B. He's back in, but in front of him once again, Dr. B hopping by this time. Meanwhile, Wally attempting to pass a stashed helmet cover. He gets knocked out by one of LCC's skaters and has to reset. Pick the the helmet cover back up and try again. This time with a successful star pass to Derby Monster.
Jam coming to an end. That was 8 points for Dr. B. We are at 122 Lane County Concussions, 247 Twin City Terrors with 4:11 left on the period clock.
Number 45, Clint Beastwood up against Slamurai Jack. Slamurai hasn't jammed much, but at this point in the game, they are sending out second string jammers to see if they can step up, and Slamurai does. He's your lead jammer, but we're gonna spend a few moments here. Just a moment. We're gonna take a few, let our crews do their thing, checking on this skater. We are going to get back to the action on track 3 and give a round of applause for our EMT and Harmony medical crew. They are going to help X to get to the side of the track and address his knees. Give it up for LCC's X. Today, I bet those EMTs are busier than any day of the tournament, and we know that when you played 2 to 3 games over a few days, giving 110% of your physicality, that sometimes it starts to wear on you. So we appreciate. LCC is also not skating this evening, Sergeant Pepper, from an injury earlier this weekend. So both very key players. LCC fielding for now Grimes and Punishment, going against 26. That's Slamurai.
Slamurai Jack.
Slamurai, as his name says, slamming in for 2.
He seemed especially excited about those 2 points, and as he should be.
I love Minnesota's hand dance moves.
Anytime you can get your hands in the air for roller derby, put them up.
Well, I'm looking over at track 2, and somebody has hung a banner that says, "Old Ricky, you're so fine, you blow my mind." That's the Old Ricky song.
And they'll be playing here against Santa Cruz at 4 o'clock on track 3. But right now, we have Lane County Concussion and Twin City Terror, where Matterhorn just became lead jammer, and Dr. B going to the box for Lane County Concussion.
And Matterhorn on turn 2, up against a 3-wall led by Ruxton, Hot Fuzz, and Brains. Hot Fuzz takes a spin and a hot drop. He's back up to create a 4-wall. Meanwhile, this power jam continues for the Minnesota Men's Roller Derby. Once again, Minnesota ranked 14 in the International Roller Derby Association. Lane County Concussion ranked 31.
And that's Guns of Ruxton, Brains, and it looks like, oh, that's Hot Fuzz with them holding back Matterhorn.
Hot Fuzz, the MVP elect, representing LCC later on tonight. Don't save anything for that game, though. We know Grimes is putting it all on the track. Going up against 67, Smalls taking the jammer helmet cover for the first time in the game.
All right, both tall jammers, don't let their names fool you. And Grimes is through on the inside. He gets lead as Inspector Spaceman hits out Smalls and makes him a fan out in the crash zone.
Smalls with a nice baseball slide almost into the bleachers. He was happy to get back up and onto the sport court. He's to the outside, he passes, but Grimes trying to catch him at turn 2, and a little jammer action right to the same part of the track. And Grimes says, "Eat this, baby!" And the crowd certainly loved that. Grimes comes in with a huge hit. He goes down, calls the jam. Let's hear it, fans. Oh man, 12 seconds to go. A team timeout issued by LCC. Fantastic last jam. Athletic, intense, baby eating. I love it.
As we're coming to the last few seconds of this matchup, don't forget all the many things going on here at the Big O. We have Vendor Village with a plethora of things that you can buy. We have food, we have drink, we have t-shirts. And at the Big O table itself, in between track 2 and 3, we have raffle tickets, we have hospitality. We have everything you need at a roller derby tournament, including the roller derby. So make sure that you guys are having a good time and hitting up everything that Emerald City Roller Derby has put out for you roller derby fans this weekend.
We may have one or two more jams depending, so I want to hear from the crowd. Who you shooting for? Who you rooting for? LCC fans? Oh, you better scream for Dr. B, because that's Derby Monster, your jammer in blue, the lead for Minnesota.
A lot of piling up happening between turn-in 1 and 2, but Derby Monster gets out, gets 5, as Dr. B tries to just clear it, and he is out for his initial pass.
Dr. B having a sweep by Carl Marksman to get through. He stays on 2 wheels, and Derby Monster calls the jam. That is your unofficial end. Let's give these referees a few moments to calculate all the final scores and make sure we have a verifiable final score to tell you. Let's give it up for Minnesota and our one and only Lane County Concussion. Your final score for the afternoon's game, 130 LCC, 271 Minnesota.
Don't forget that on this very track at 4 o'clock is Santa Cruz versus Aldriki. Make sure you give a high five to all these fabulous skaters. That's all why they're here, is for your high fives.